Good morning students, this is HD Pawar, lecturer Department of Economics, Gokte PU College of Commerce and Science, Belgaum. Today I welcome you to the sixth part of the lesson Perfect Competitive Market. Today we shall study, now in the previous classes you have dealt with demand, what is the meaning of demand, what is law of demand, then what are the other factors of demand. So now today we will go to the supply part of the lesson. What is the meaning of supply? Supply means the quantity of goods the seller is ready to sell at a given price, given under the given technology and given prices of factors of production. Now a seller, he produces, a seller, now you can use the term seller, you can use it as a firm, you can even use the word a producer. Okay, they are all the same. Now a seller or a producer or a firm produces the goods using certain technology, then using the factors of production, that is land, labor, capital and organization, for which he has to pay rent. The rewards are rent, wages, interest and profits for himself under the given technology, under the method of given production, method of producing certain goods and services, and by using the factors of production he produces certain goods and he is ready to sell those goods at a given market price under the given prices and factors of production. Now, what is the law of supply? Now, while hearing to the law of supply, you have to think from a seller point of view. When we talk of demand, we think from the consumer point of view, what the consumer is demanding, how much consumer is demanding at what prices. When we talk of law of supply, you have to assume you are a seller and what would you do, how much quantity would you supply at particular prices. So the law of supply states that as the price rises, the seller is ready to supply more goods, and as prices fall, seller is ready to supply less quantity of goods, other things being the same. So here now, unlike the law of demand, there is what it says, as the price increases, consumer will demand less quantity, and as the price decreases, consumer will demand more quantity. There it shows what demand, law of demand shows what inverse or opposite or negative relation between quantity demanded and price of the particular good. But law of supply, what it is stating, it is just the opposite of it. It states as the prices increases, the seller is ready to supply or ready to sell more quantity of goods, and when the prices falls, seller is ready to sell less goods, other things being the same. So here price and quantity supplied shows positive relation. They move, price and quantity supplied move in the same direction. Okay, other things being the same means other things here are prices of other goods that are supplied in the market by other sellers, then technology, then the factors of production prices are same. Only the price of the particular product has increased and the supplier is ready to supply more, and the price of particular product decreases, the seller is ready to supply less. So this can be again explained with the help of a schedule. What is a supply schedule or a table? It shows the different quantities that are sold by a seller at different levels of prices. There is a positive relation between quantity supplied, QS denotes here quantity supplied by the seller, and the given market price. See the schedule here, there are two columns which shows price, and the second column shows quantity supplied. See, if the price is 1, quantity supplied by the seller is 10 units. If the price increases to 2, the quantity supplied increases to 20 units. When the price increases to 3, the quantity supplied increases to 30 units. Similarly, when the price increases to 4 and 5 units, the quantity supplied will be 40 and 50 units respectively. So it shows as the price increases, quantity supplied also increases, and if the price decreases, quantity supplied by the seller will also decrease. Hence it shows a positive relation between price and quantity supplied, as they both move in the same direction. The same schedule can be plotted in the form of a graph. Like always, quantity is measured always on OX axis, and price is price is measured on Y axis. Quantity supplied is measured on X and price is measured on Y axis. When you plot the points on the graph, you will get a slope which is moving upwards. You will get a slope which is moving upwards. So always supply curve is upward sloping straight line. Why? Because of positive relation between price and quantity supplied. Whereas you have seen demand is always downward sloping or negative sloping straight line curve, because there is what? Negative relation or opposite or inverse relation between price and quantity demanded. So I hope you are clear with the concept, that is law of supply. It states as price rises, quantity supplied will increase. As price decreases, quantity supplied will also decrease. Other factors remaining the same. Then you show the schedule which is showing the different quantities sold by the seller at different levels of prices. The same supply curve is what now? It is a graphical representation of the supply schedule, which shows what? Positively sloping curve or upward moving straight line curve. That is SS is the supply curve. Now, determinants of a firm's supply curve. What are the determinants or what are the deciding factors of a firm's supply curve? A firm's supply curve is part of marginal cost curve. We have done in the previous classes, fourth and in the fifth class of this lesson, I have explained you, that is the marginal cost which comes from below. It touches the minimum of AVC and moves upwards. So the point above the minimum of AVC which moves upward is also the supply curve of the firm. The marginal cost curve above from the point of AVC, from above the point of AVC is also the supply curve of the firm. So here a firm's supply curve is part of marginal cost curve. Therefore, any factor that affects the marginal cost curve is determinant of its supply curve also. The determining factors are technological progress. The first one is technological progress. Certain goods, there are 2 points, technological progress and input prices, and another one we will deal with is unit tax. First one, technological progress. Certain goods are produced with given inputs, two inputs, that is what, labor and capital. From the four factors of production, the labor and capital are the two important factors we are dealing with in the topics. That is, goods are produced with given two inputs L and K, that is labor and capital. If there is technological progress, the same labor and capital can now produce more units of output, or to put it in other words, the same output can be produced with less labor and capital. See, if you are using the same labor and capital, and if you are using improved technology, that same labor and capital can produce what? More goods and services, more goods or output within that given period of time. Or in other words, the same output can be produced with using what? Less labor and less capital, which will lower the marginal cost, which will reduce the additional cost at any level of output. Therefore, there is rightward shift in the marginal cost. There is what? Rightward shift in the marginal cost. That means it will supply more goods. At any given market price, the firm now supplies more units of output. Just see here the diagram, you see quantity supplied is measured on x-axis, y-axis measures the price. Now see here, Q1 is the quantity supplied at a given price P1. Now, when there is technological progress at the same price, then the firm is able to produce what? More goods and supply more goods. Therefore, it is at the same price with the improvement in technology, and with the firm is able to supply Q2 quantity of goods. Okay, it is able to supply Q2 quantity of goods at the same price. So, the first supply curve S1, there is a shift in the supply curve S1 to S2, that is a rightward shift in the supply shown by the red mark arrow here. S2 is the new supply curve, whereby it is supplying Q2 units of goods at the same price P1. Because of improvement in technology or improvement in the technique of production using same labor and capital, it is able to produce more goods by reducing the marginal cost. So it is able to supply more goods. Here I have just shown it here. If there is increase in the technology, just see the last line, if there is increase in the technology, there will be reduction in the cost. Cost will reduce, profits will increase. When profits are going to increase, then supplier will supply more units of goods, which will lead to rightward shift in the supply curve, and vice versa. That is, if the technology has become obsolete or it is old method of production, then it will be the reverse. That is, cost will going to become high, profits will become less, supply will become less, and there will be leftward shift in the supply curve. We have just shown one effect, that is when there is technological progress, what happens? Cost will become less, profit margin will increase, therefore supplier will supply more goods, therefore there will be rightward shift in the supply curve. Let's come to the second determining factor, input prices. Input prices, that is change in input prices, also affects the firm's supply curve. Now what are inputs? First, factors of production or factor inputs are what? Land, labor, capital, organization. And if their prices are increasing, say for example labor prices, the labor wages are increasing, what effect will it have? Okay, change in input, one of the input prices also affects the firm's supply curve. If price of an input, say wages of labor increases due to any reason, the labor demands more wages and wages of labor increases, the cost of production will rise. The cost of production rises, it will increase, which increases the cost per unit, that is the average cost of production will increase. And so also when a per unit cost of production increases, marginal cost, additional cost will also increase, and therefore there is leftward shift in the marginal cost or the supply curve of the firm. Now you are paying a certain amount of wages to the labor and producing the goods and supplying, but if suddenly the wages of the labor increases, the cost of production of the firm will increase, and it will increase the per unit cost, that is average cost, and also the marginal cost, additional cost of production also increases. Therefore it will lead to what? Reduction in the profits, and so there is supply will become less, and therefore there is leftward shift in the marginal cost or the supply curve of the firm. This means the firm's supply curve shifts to left at any given market price. The firm now supplies lesser units of output. Okay, see here in the diagram again, output is measured on, or quantity supplied is measured on x-axis. On y-axis we measure always the price. We have the upward moving supply curve S, which is shown there, and when one of the input prices increases, the marginal cost increases. Therefore the marginal cost or the supply curve of the firm will shift towards the left, which is showed in the dotted lines. So here see the last line, input price, if in one of the input price increases, the cost of production increases, profits will decrease, therefore the supply will become less, and that leads to shift in the supply curve towards the left. And vice versa, we are only showing one effect when there is increase in the prices of the input. Then now come to unit tax. Unit tax is a tax. What is unit tax? They may ask you for 2 marks. Unit tax is a tax that government imposes. Imposes means it levies. We don't use the word charges. Government will not charge tax. We say government imposes or levies. Okay, so unit tax is a tax that government imposes per unit sale of output. On each unit of good produced, the government will tax the producer. Suppose the unit tax imposed by government is ₹2, and if the firm sells 10 units of goods, the total tax of the firm must the total tax that the firm must pay to the government is how many? It has produced 10 units, and per unit is how much? Tax ₹2. So it will be how much? Total tax levied by the government to the firm will be ₹20. The impact or the effect of unit tax on the supply curve is that it shifts to leftwards. That is, it will reduce the supply, because tax, more the tax, more will be the cost of production for the firm at a given market price, then he will be able to supply less. Therefore there will be leftward shift at any given market price. The firm supplies fewer units of output. If the tax is less, the supply will be more. If the tax is more, supply will be less. Then what is opportunity cost? We have already done it in micro topic, first topic, and also in production topic. Let's do it here again. Opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? They may ask you for 2 marks or even for 4 marks. Opportunity cost of a good is the next best alternative that is sacrificed or foregone to produce that good. This can be best explained with an example. Say a farmer has 1 acre of fixed agricultural land. Okay, and it is just do the correction, it is land. Farmer has 1 acre of fixed agricultural land and he can produce either paddy, that is paddy means what, rice. He can either produce rice or he can produce wheat. Choice is left to him. If he produces paddy, if he produces paddy, the opportunity cost, he has the opportunity of producing wheat also. Okay, so the opportunity cost of producing paddy is the next best alternative wheat that is sacrificed. Now he has a small 1 acre fixed land and he has the option of producing either wheat or paddy, but he cannot produce both because of a fixed land or a small piece of land. So either of the goods he can produce. If he chooses to produce paddy, he will have to sacrifice the next best alternative that he is having is what, wheat. So that is called as the opportunity cost. The cost of producing paddy is the cost of cost of producing paddy is the next best alternative wheat that he has to sacrifice or forego. So that is called as opportunity cost. I hope you have understood this much for today. Thank you.